Hey, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachar Kodash, Barakatham. I want to say double honor to our apostles, who are our elders, who rule well. I want to say blessed salutations to you, brothers. Blessings and salutations to you, brothers, out there teaching and enduring truth and sincerity. Sincere Habatham Sequoiam. Blessed salutations to you, women out there that's enduring truth and sincerity. Um, you know, um, So I want to get into this lesson real quick. Basically, piggybacking off what the apostles did, I believe it was earlier in this week or last week, with Esau's hatred. Because Jake, amongst many other people, like to make the truth their own thing, and try to think for the Lord. You know what I'm saying? And the Lord said, my ways are not your ways. My thoughts are not your thoughts. And you got to keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying? This thing is a spiritual warfare that we're embarking on and what we're dealing with. So just because you meet a cool Edomite doesn't make him cool. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't mean that he's cool with you. All right? Especially if you brothers been from the South and above, the Midwest and New York and California. In the South, they come out, their hate for you is outward. You know what I'm saying? They'll let you know, they ride around with the rebel flags and things like that. But when you come up to the Midwest and the West Coast and North, you might run into some Edomites that'll show their hatred. But for the most part, they conserve it and they reserve it. You know what I'm saying? And Jake basically are shallow-minded to believe that just because they don't show it, that it doesn't exist. And then you'll believe when Esau tell you that, which is a so-called white man, you believe that when he tells you racism is dead, just because he pretends he's not racist, then you have to believe that, which is bullshit. Okay. So we're gonna go into Ezekiel 35. This is prophesied by the Most High, you know what I'm saying? Because you got to understand that this is a spiritual thing. This is something that's embedded in you, okay? The same, and this is ironic. This is how crazy it is. Esau believed that from birth, a man or a woman could be trapped in another body, right? And that you was basically your internal being or your spirit is a woman, but your body is a man. And they'll believe in that rhetoric. They'll believe in that. But when you turn around and they'll say racism is taught, you know what I'm saying? You got people out here, the Lord said he made man upright, but he sought out many inventions. Technically, you're taught racism, but spiritually, that's embedded in you to not like a specific nation, mainly us, because a lot of these nations over time forget that we're Israelites, so they don't even know, but they still have a hatred towards us. They still have a look or ill, they still call us bywords and they still treat us a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Even our own people. Why? Because this is a spiritual thing. Just like somebody being a homosexual. Hey, you can be taught homosexuality, but your spirit, based off how the Lord created your spirit, how weak or how strong your spirit is if you'll succumb to that entity, man. Okay? Because it's the scriptures say offenses must come. But now when you talk about Esau's perpetual hatred, that is something spiritually embedded in him. And there's certain things that spark certain inventions that spark that. You could be there's this video, reminds me of this video with Jake playing basketball. He was crossing up all the Edomites on the floor, just dribbling, and it said this is what started racism in a joking manner. Yeah, man, that's what started it. I ain't gonna say that's what started, but that type of shit will trigger it, man. You taking at women, you doing certain things. Esau tends to hide his racism for the most part when he's lawfully. When he's doing good, everything's gravy. You know what I'm saying? Going back to when Jacob and Esau was beefing, and then over time they both established themselves, and when Esau was doing good, he was all gravy, and Jacob was passing him up Jacob sent Israel sent a caravan ahead, his concubines and his, servants and stuff like that, to make sure that Esau wouldn't do anything to him. And Esau was like, nah, you cool, you know what I'm saying? It's all gravy, man. It's good to see you. He hugged him and all that. Basically, it's all love when, you know what I'm saying? When they're doing better or they're doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? When you come groveling and you like that old saying, people want good for you when they're doing better than you. You know what I'm saying? And Esau, when Esau's doing better than you and you need him, you know what I'm saying? You gotta ask him to go to college. You gotta ask him for this. You gotta ask him. They like that, man. They like to have you in servitude. So basically, when Esau had us in that, when he was in that position in the Old Testament, he was cool. But as soon as Jake start coming up, as soon as Jake start doing certain things, as soon as Jake start speaking up, you know what I'm saying, then that racism come out, because it's always there. All right, it's not like it goes away. It's just certain circumstances that makes you forget it. Hey, the scriptures tell you that when a man is in his riches, he forget about affliction. When Esau's doing great and wonderful, he forget about that hatred that he has for Jake, man. You know what I'm saying? Unless you or let's say they are put in a situation when they got to deal with Jake, But for the most part, the Edomites are established here. They got their foot on Jake's neck and all the rest of the nations, even though that foothold is slipping, which is why that hatred is coming back. They're losing their jobs, their reproduction rate is going down, the men is taking their women, Jake is outshining them in sports and different things, you know what I'm saying? So now they're starting to voice their opinions and their feelings toward us, about us, toward us, So I want to get into this precept real quick. Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 1, it says, moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, this is the word of the Lord. This ain't this no personal, oh man, I got a best friend, you can't say that. You know what I'm saying? This is the word of the Most High, man. Okay? It says, son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. So the Lord telling us to prophesy against who? Mount Seir. Who's Mount Seir? That's Esau. That's Petra. Okay? If you look on the map and look what Mount Seir is, that's the land of Edom, man. Okay? It says, and thus say unto it, thus said the Lord power, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. To make something desolate is to utterly destroy it. Okay? It says, I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. Why? Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and perpetual is never ending. Thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end, right? Then it says that in the time iniquity had an end. Basically, the Lord was like, all right, I'm done, fucking up Israel. And Esau just come out and slavery in the book of Judah during the Babylonian exile, when they was trying to get us to be destroyed and saying race it, you know what I'm saying? And that, like, just like Jake today, they hear about slavery's in the Bible. You know why they react like that? Because they're going off the way Esau handled the slavery when he had the Negroes, Latino, Native Americans, mainly the Negroes, under his possession, man. Chopping off people's feet, castrating them, raping the women, raping the men, separating them from their families, different things of that nature. So when they hear slavery, they automatically associate the type of slavery that Esau put us through and try to correlate that with the biblical way of slavery, which is totally different, okay? It's more, the slavery of the Bible is way more ethical, man. Because in real sense, we're all slaves. You got a birth certificate, or if you're employed by somebody, you're a slave to that person. You didn't sign a contract and agree to do this. Hey, you get married, you damn near become a slave to your woman, man. You know what I'm saying? Especially in today's time, with when you sign that contract, man. Because if she leaves, she get to take this and take that and do this. You know what I'm saying? But like if you sign an employment you know, or a mortgage or a car note, you become a slave to that. You can't just up and say, well, I'm gonna stop paying it without any consequences. You know what I'm saying? You can't sit here and say, well, I'm about to stop being an American and stop keeping the laws of this land without any consequences. You're a slave. We're all slaves. You know, it's just that this slave, the basic slavery is decent. It's not as physical and right in front of your face compared to Esau's ancient way of slavery, which was wicked as hell. Even this slavery is wicked as hell. It's morally incorrect. But Esau's ancient slavery, you know, during the 1776 at the time of that hardcore slavery, that was just blatantly wicked. Where you can see, and they hated, you know, calling niggas and all that. You know, and it was a culture to say you're 3/5 of a man and this and that, you know. So it says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that the iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee, since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Yeah, that's right. They'll sit there and come up with any type of excuse why they'll kill a nigga. They'll put Jake in a position, send him out in the armies, put him on the front lines, doing science experiments through the Tuskegee Project, giving them syphilis and not curing it when they had the cure, just to see how it go, creating chemical warfare, you know what I'm saying? And that's a whole lot of bloodshed, and on top of that's a whole lot of innocent blood. Okay, that's why the scripture saying in 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, the innocent blood crieth unto the Most High, man. Okay, hell, even these heathens, man, that are being what happened to the Ammon when they was digging them tunnels and shit, and they was blowing up the tunnel. They were putting the people in fucking positions to get themselves blown up, man. You know what I'm saying? And then when Pearl Harbor happened, they put them in concentration camps and all that shit, and was fucking them up. You know, hey, they got to be judged for that. You know what I'm saying? What they doing over there in the land of Ham. You know what I'm saying? What they doing to all these countries, North Korea. You know, fucking with all these countries and shit. That's innocent blood, man. Okay. But we the apple of the Lord's eye. Let's get that clear. Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are apple of the Lord's eye. It's a whole different beast when you're shedding the blood of the Lord's anointed, man. Okay, the Lord's Christians. Okay, the Lord's chosen. All right. Now I purposely say Christians because the true word of Christian goes back to anointed. All right. Verse 7 says, thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate. Not just Esau or the land. No, it's talking about the governing body, the whole Mount of Esau. As it says in the book of Obadiah, they shall be cut off by what? Slaughter. Okay? It says, thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passes out, and him that returneth. And I will fill his mountains with his slain men, in thy hills and in thy valleys and in thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword. I will make thee perpetual desolations, and thy cities shall not return, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. So this is a prophecy of the Lord destroying who? Esau, Mount Seir, which is the so-called white man. Utterly, okay, by violence. There ain't gonna be no lightning bolt. There ain't gonna be no the earth opening up and swallowing them. It's gonna be a destruction. Not only is it gonna be chariots, not only is it gonna be famine and things like that, but he's gonna use Negroes, Latino, Native Americans to do the destruction too. Cause pussyfoot niggas, you know what I'm saying? Always, that's the Lord's judgment. The Lord's gonna use us. Okay. It says, verse 10, it says, because thou hast said, these two nations and these two countries shall be mine, and I will possess it, whereas the Lord was there. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord, I will even do according to thine anger, and according to thine envy, which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them, and I will make myself known among them when I have judged thee. Guess what? let's put it like this. This is beautiful. This is a beautiful point. Let's say Esau is putting out there that he's the good guy. He's doing well. The Lord's going to punish you according to the anger that you have toward us. How about that? Right? You're going to get judged based off of how much you hated us. That's going to be your judgment. Now, if you really feel historically that you didn't have any hatred, any of you Edomites feel like you didn't have any hatred toward us, then you should feel totally comfortable and say, well, ain't nothing going to happen to us, baby, because we show love to our neighbor. Y'all know what the fuck y'all did. Y'all know how much blood is on your hands and what mindset you was in when you were shedding this blood. That's why you get so defensive and try to create a whole doctrine and took the scriptures and created Christianity, the modern day Christianity, and try to push an agenda to make our people docile to the judgment of the Lord via prophecy, man. Okay? Verse 12 it says, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, and that I have heard all thy blasphemies which thou hast spoken against the mountains of Israel, saying, they are laid desolate, and they are given us to consume. Yeah, and that's what they did. They destroyed us. They consumed us. They damn near try to wipe us out, man. Okay. Thus with your mouth ye boasted against me, and have multiplied your words against me. I have heard them. The Lord, yeah, man, Esau always trying to play. You try to play with us, but the Lord heard everything that you said. You said the Lord was white. You changed the image of him. You say that we aren't the people of Israel, Negro, Latino, Native Americans. You deprived us. You destroyed us. You tried to wipe us out. You threw us over the boats, remigrated the migration of sharks based off of throwing Jake over the boats. You know what I'm saying? Almost wiped out the Taino Indians, almost created genocide to the Gadites, you know, used a Gatling gun, you know what I'm saying? Use bywords, use other nations to destroy us, put us on the front line of your armies so we can purposely get killed, denied us of any rightful ability to flourish in your wicked ass kingdom, okay? And the Lord seen all that. And he knew what type of mindset you was in and you're still in while you're doing all this madness, okay? It says, thus said the Lord, power, when the whole earth rejoiceth, I will make thee desolate. As thou didst rejoice at the inheritance of the house of Israel, because it was desolate, so will I do unto thee. Thou shalt be desolate, O Mount Seir, and all Idumea, even all of it, and they shall know that I am the Lord. So that's what it is, man. The Lord is going to totally wipe this thing out, man. Wipe your thing out, your existence, man. He said, you shall build, but I shall throw down, man. Okay? So I just want to put that out there. I hope that was edifying. I want to say, call halal to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahushai by Hashem, or call Kadash. Again, call halal Yahweh by Hashem, Yahushai for these prophecies, because if it wasn't for the Most High, we wouldn't be able to escape the terrors and the wiles of the devil, man, which is Esau and the spiritual demon Satan, man. You know, so call halal Yahweh by Hashem, Yahushai by Hashem, or call Kadash for giving us grace, and through the blood of Yahushai, we are redeemed, okay? Name Yahweh Bashem Yahushai again, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai. Double honor to our apostles, who are elders, who rule well. Blessed salutations to you brothers out there teaching and enduring truth and sincerity. A sincere, Ahaba Thumb, Sequoia. Shalom.